Therefore, it is always, what's important is that we should not lose the opportunity to discuss. Therefore, what we are supporting is that there should be ongoing discussions and being ready for, or getting to be ready for use of the force when and it's necessary. So she doesn't mean, we have already said that it is good for the preventive and deterring purpose. So it's not really immediate. We don't foresee the immediately will be necessary, but we just want to be precautious.
General Mattis was talking about North Korea.
Which one?
General Mattis, Secretary Mattis.
Oh, yes.
Was talking about North Korea.
Yes.
Whereas General, I forget your last name. Han. General Han was talking about internal civil strife. What kind of support would there be for martial law to combat civil strife? General Mattis did not address that issue.
한미 동맹 관계에 있어서 매티스 장관께서 2월 2일 날 방한해서 노스코리아에 관련된 한미 동맹 이것은 언급했지만 이제 11월 내부적인 이것에 대해서는 언급한 바가 없다.
So you're right about pointing out that when General Mattis visited Korea in February 2nd, he did mention the affirmation of the Korea-US alliance, but he didn't say anything about the civil strike, possible civil strike.
그러나 대한민국이 이제 좌파에 의해서 넘어간다면 미국의 이익도 이제 대한민국에서 그 설자를 잃어버리기 때문에 그러한 것도 한미 동맹 측에서 고려해야 될 대상이라고 우리 장수덕 변호사님께서 말씀하신 것으로 이해를 합니다.
But if in such circumstance the left of Korean society controls the entire society, then the interests of the U.S. will be affected as well. So in that situation, the situation should be considered in the context of Korea-U.S. alliance. I think that's what Mr. Chung was talking about.
그래서 대남 통일 전선 전략을 이해를 한다면 이제 대남 통일 전선 전략의 틀 가운데서 거짓 탄핵이 진행되고 있고 이것이 내란으로 11월로 진행된다면 북한이 이제 개입을 해서 대한민국을 적화시키려고 하는 이 전략을 이해한다면 이 과정에서도 한미 동맹이 군사적으로 대처할 것에 대해서 미리 대비하는 것은 중요한 이슈라고 생각합니다.
So if you understand this current ongoing false impeachment is orchestrated by the Unified Front by North Korea, and if that leads to civil war in Korean society, and if that is an attempt by North Korea to unify South Korea in its own way, if you understand that process, then I think it can be understood in the context of Korea-U.S. alliance, and in using the military forces, I think we can be prepared for that.
따라서 미군이 대한민국에 주둔하는 목적은 대한민국의 안전을 위한 목적이 있는데 그 안전 가운데서도 노스코리아와의 직접적인 전쟁 예방 또는 전쟁 승리라고 하는 것도 있지만 이 내전으로 가는 북한의 대남 통일 전선 전략에 대비하는 것도 아주 중요한 이슈라고 생각합니다.
The reason why we have U.S. forces stationed in Korea is to ensure security and safety of the Korean Peninsula. And of course, first and foremost, the reason is to prevent and also win a possible war against North Korea. But also we need to prepare for a possible infiltration and civil war caused by the operations of North Korea. Thank you.
Any further questions? Actually, I can add one more point, which I heard from our New York broadcaster, Koreatown there, and informed me that there were series of discussions with the military personnel somewhere between Defense Ministry, in the U.S., Secretary of Defense Department, about this possible bombing on the North Korean nuclear facility. Because of that hot issue, was a little difficult to mention too early. People were very hesitant in discussing in details, but certainly when these newspaper people asked the Pentagon, they responded with a positive response, like, oh, we are ready to strike anytime, just like that. So yes, you are talking about the North Korea, but that's directly related to the security of the South Korea because of this infiltration schemes in the past for, I think, 60 years now. These details are just too much. It's overwhelming, and it affects all of this current turmoil and unreasonable and radical events that you are experiencing. It's not out of reason, and people are talking out of logical fallacy. You can hear people talk, and you can think right away, oh, what kind of human being is this? They're so distorted and disguised. So you cannot really understand from their talk, the reality. So because of those uncertainties and unforeseeability of behaviors, you never know when the war may break. That's what we are worried, actually. Deep down in this hot discussion about impeachment and the toppling over the sovereignty and all this, the real concern that we have on our body, on our mind is war. We don't want to have another war here. That's the point.
저는 북한의 대남 통일 전선 전략 중에 가장 중요한 것이 이제 언더그라운드 터널, 이 땅굴로 북괴군을 집어넣는 전략이 있다고 하는 것에 주목을 합니다. 대한민국 정부는 공식적으로 북한은 휴전선 4km 이남으로는 땅굴을 팔 실력이 못 된다. 물 처리, 버럭 처리, 산소 처리를 못하기 때문에 못 판다라고 하는데 이것은 납득할 수 없는 일입니다. 70년대에 곡괭이로 팠다면 그것을 납득하지만 지금은 다 장비로 파고 있고 핵실험을 수직으로 2km, 수평으로 2km 파서 거기에다 핵을 집어넣고 핵실험을 하는 나라입니다. 미사일을 날리는 나라입니다. 그것도 10,000km 이상.
So to talk a little bit about the strategies of North Korean Unified Front, I think the most important pillar of the strategy is underground tunnel. Many people say the North Korea is incapable of digging the tunnel close to 4 kilometers of the dividing line, but I don't think it is reasonable, and I can't understand that logic, because if you look at in the 1970s, yes, they were using just a shovel, and yes, they are incapable of coming that far. But if you think about their heavy equipment usage and also their capability of taking nuclear weapons and experimenting with nuclear weapons and even launching missiles, I think they are more than capable of doing so.
따라서 주한미군 사령관 겸 유엔군 사령관 겸 연합사 사령관, 한미연합사 사령관을 하는 브룩스 대장은 이제 땅굴에 대비하는 작전 명령을 내려놓아야 될 필요가 있는 것입니다.
So I believe that Commander Brooks of UFC and the U.S. forces of Korea must start preparing for giving orders to respond to this underground tunnel operations by North Korea.
다음은 계엄령에 관해서 많은 사람들이 헌법 77조의 4항과 5항을 빌어서 이제 국회가 그를 말릴 텐데 의미가 없다라고 하는 그릇된 정보를 흘리고 있습니다.
And also regarding the martial law, there are people who are spilling wrong information about the National Assembly can stop the President's announcement of martial law based on paragraph 4 and 5 of Article 77 of Constitution.
헌법 77조 4항과 5항은 대통령은 계엄령을 선포하면 지체 없이 국회에 통고하여야 한다. 사항입니다.
So the paragraph 4 of Article 77 of Constitution stipulates that a president, when announcing martial law, must immediately notify the National Assembly of such declaration.
자, 이것은 notify지 통보하는 것이지 승인을 얻어야 된다고 하는 것이 아닙니다.
And we must distinguish the word notify from the approve.
예, 그리고 5항은 이제 국회는 이를 심의하여 국회가 해제하라고 명령하면 대통령은 계엄령을 해제해야 된다라고 되어 있습니다.
And paragraph 4 of such article stipulates that after deliberation of the National Assembly on the martial law, if the National Assembly decides to cancel such a declaration, then President must do so.
따라서 대통령은 계엄령을 선포할 때 이제 국회의원들을 현행범으로 잡을 준비를 해야 됩니다. 사드를 반대하는 것은 형법 99조 일반 이적죄의 위반이 됩니다.
And when President declares martial law, President must be prepared to arrest these National Assemblymen as criminals because opposing that implementation, that deployment is, according to Article 99 of the Criminal Code, is a violation of law.
형법 99조 일반 이적죄는 다음과 같습니다.
The Article 99 of Criminal Code goes as follows.
군사상으로 우군에게는 불리함을 주고 적군에게는 유리함을 주는 죄.
It stipulates the crime to be advantageous to the enemy and be disadvantageous to their supporters.
무기징역 또는 3년 이상의 징역에 처한다.
If you commit such crime, you face the lifetime imprisonment or the 3 years of imprisonment.
사드 배치가 추진 중인데 이를 반대하고 있기 때문에 현행범으로 체포할 수 있다라고 생각합니다.
So basically, because the government is pushing for that deployment and opposing such decision of government can constitute a crime.
따라서 150명 이상 되는 야당 의원들과 여당 의원들이 반대하고 있기 때문에 150명 이상의 국회의원들을 긴급 체포하고 국회 해산의 효과까지도 가져올 수 있습니다.
Since more than 150 members of the opposition and ruling parties are opposing the THAAD deployment, you can have emergency arrest of those people and dissolve the National Assembly.
따라서 계엄령을 선포하면 국회가 해산되는 효과까지 그리고 이제 간첩들을 잡아내는 효과까지 기대할 수 있게 됩니다.
So when announcing martial law, you can dissolve the National Assembly and also arrest all the spies from North Korea.
따라서 대통령이 계엄령 선포에도 계엄령 선포에도 쓸모가 없다. 국회 때문에 쓸모가 없다라고 하는 말은 반은 맞지만 반은 틀린 말입니다.
So when people say if acting president declares martial law because of the National Assembly, it will become invalid, it's only half a story.
네, 이상입니다.
Thank you.
I would like to add how I read General Han's argument that we may need to have martial law declared. But I read that if only when they are showing and doing what Mr. Moon has said earlier, that if the Constitutional Court doesn't confirm the impeachment case, then the following thing will be revolution. And if we watch closely what the mobs on the Gwanghwamun streets are crying out, is that they talk a lot about revolution, and I was shocked when I read that a placard held by young children that young children should be in the front of the revolutionary front. So they seem to have talked a lot about revolution, particularly more intensely in the demonstrations and rallies organized by the leftist leaders, including Moon Jae-in. They, even young children, are persuaded to stay ahead of the revolutionary forces. So that is why General Han emphasizes that we have to be more careful and listen more carefully to what these people are talking about. So Mr. Kirk said that, talked about a scenario, but I don't think we have got any prepared scenario, but we are simply contemplating that in the worst case, when the rioters and mobsters engaged in demolishing all the system here in Korea and engage themselves in revolutionary activities such as Lee Seok-hee discussed with many of his followers openly what they were supposed to do when the North Koreans are coming down here. So that is, I would like to carefully mention that that is how I read what in General Han's mind. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have, yes, please go ahead.
한국말로 하겠습니다.
Yes.
한장군님한테 여쭤보고 싶은데요. 지금 우리 사회가 이게 지금 보면은 입법부, 사법부, 행정부 뭐 이런 부분에서 지금 어떻게 보면은 그 안에도 상당히 그 좌파들이 많기 때문에 실질적으로 뭔가 움직여 보려고 하더라도 그 움직여지지 않는, 그래서 그 지금 태극 그 기만 흔들고 시민들은 발만 동동 구르고 있는 이런 그 상황이기 때문에 헌재도 마찬가지고요. 그러면 군은 과연 그렇다면은 만약에 계엄령이 선포가 됐을 때에 군 자체 내에서도 그러면 또 거기서도 갈리는 뭐가 아닌가? 혹시 뭐 군에서 일어났는데 그걸 반대하는 쪽에 있어서 뭐 총 거꾸로 하면서 실제로 이제 내전 상태가 벌어지지 않겠는가 하는 걸 우려하는 사람들이 많습니다. 그래서 그 부분에 대해서 우리 군이 그렇다면은 지금 이쪽 보수 쪽의 마인드를 갖고 있는 건지, 아니면은 그 군 내에서도 그거를 갖다가 옳다고 하는 측과 반대하는 측이 있어서 만약에 거기서 싸움이 벌어진다고 그랬을 때에 이제 어떤 상황이 벌어질 건가 하는 거를 좀 말씀해 주시면.
So I'd like to ask a question to General Han. So within the judiciary, legislative, and administrative branch, there are severe divisions between leftists and rightists. And we are trying to start a movement, but they wouldn't budge. So we are just using the national flag to express our opinions, but it's very difficult to start a movement, and the same goes for the Constitutional Court. So my question is, within the military, even if there's a martial law declared, would there be any division within the military? Would there be any opponents of such activity? So would there be any civil war within the military? So I would like to ask you your opinions on the stance of the military.
저는 2001년도, 2002년도에 합참에서 비서실장을 했습니다.
So in 2001 and 2002, I served as Chief of Staff in Joint Forces.
조인트 치프 오브 스텝의 세크리터리 제너럴로 제가 했습니다. 1년에 2번씩 전쟁 연습을 할 때마다 계엄령 연습을 합니다.
And twice a year, every time we do the war simulation and training, we also do training regarding martial law.
따라서 계엄령이 선포되면 대한민국 국군은 일사불란하게 움직일 겁니다.
So if and when martial law is declared, the army will move as practiced.
무력 집단의 특성상 거기에서 반역자가 나타나면 현장에서 사살입니다.
And given the unique nature of military forces, if there's anyone who opposes the operation, will be killed.
따라서 이제 계엄령이 선포될 때까지 과정이 문제이지만 계엄령을 선포한다라고 이것이 선포되면은 이제 좌파와 간첩들은 쥐구멍으로 숨어들 겁니다.
So yes, the process of declaring martial law will be difficult, but once that happens, then the only thing the enemies will do is to find hiding place.
이제 좌파와 간첩단이 반수 이상이 돼서 이것을 거역할 수 있다라면은 제가 한 얘기는 틀릴 수 있지만 좌파와 간첩들은 군대에 하는 제가 볼 때는 10% 미만입니다.
Well, I could be proven wrong if the majority of the military forces are leftist and North Korean spies, but as far as I know, only 10% of the military forces are leftist.
1980년 5월 17일 날로 돌아가고 싶습니다.
I'd like to take you back to the May 17th of 1980.
5.18 영상 고발이라고 하는 책을 지만원 박사님이 펼쳐냈습니다.
Dr. Tim Monon published the book May 18th 영산 고발.
이곳에서 당시에 1980년 5.18 때 478명의 이제 북괴군이 들어왔다라고 하는 것을 사진 대조로 밝혀냈습니다.
Basically, in this book, the author revealed with photographic evidence that there were 478 North Korean operatives who came to Korea on the May 18th, 1980.
자, 그래서 5월 18일 전인 5월 17일 날 비상계엄령 확대 비상계엄령이 전라도 일대에 선포됐습니다.
And the day before the uprising, the 17th of May, the martial law was declared in the Jeolla province.
자, 당시에 이제 군부 내에도 김대중 지지파가 있었고 또 그 반대파가 있었습니다.
At that time, within the military, there was supporters and opponents of Kim Dae-jung.
그렇지만 계엄령이 선포되자마자 군대는 일사불란하게 5.18에 들어온 북괴군과 폭도들을 진압했습니다.
But once martial law was declared, the military moved in one mind to suppress the rioters and the opponents, the protesters.
군을 움직이는 데는 441명의 장군단들이 있습니다.
There are 441 officers and generals in the army.
제너럴스가 441 제너럴스 이 사람들이 이제는 계엄령이 선포되면 일사불란하게 움직일 것이라고 저는 믿는 겁니다.
So I strongly believe that once a martial law is declared, this 441 generals will move in one mind.
따라서 대통령 권한 대행이 국무위원들과 8명의 대장, 4스타 제너럴들을 이제 설득하는 과정이 중요합니다.
So it would be very important for acting president to convince this 8 4-star generals as well as cabinet members.
예, 그렇게 되면 저는 계엄령 깃발만 올라가기만 하면 군대는 아주 일사불란하게 움직이고 종북 간첩단들은 이제 쥐구멍으로 숨어들 것이라고 믿는 겁니다.
So once the flag of martial law is erected, I believe that the military will move in one motion and all these spies and opponents will have to find hiding place.
따라서 태극기 물결 속에서도 계엄령은 안 된다라고 하는 사람들을 저는 이해할 수가 없는 것입니다.
That's why I cannot understand anyone who says there is no martial law in this rally of national flags.
따라서 계엄령 선포를 뒤로 미루고 혁명을 하겠다라고 하는 것에는 저는 적극 반대하는 바입니다.
That's why I strongly oppose the movement of starting a revolution by postponing martial law.
네, 이상입니다.
Thank you.
Perhaps I can help Ms. Lee when General Han stressed that the martial law enforcing soldiers suppressed North Korean agents from North Korea. That's what he said.
Oh, I think he's pointing out is that when Mr. Han was explaining the situation of 518 long ago, the translator, the interpreter didn't so missed the point of having, I mean, the presence of North Korean troops, physically in Gwangju City to make up that riot. It's not necessarily from inside. That's a very startling fact that Mr. Han mentioned, but the interpreter missed that point. Okay, okay. We'll take just one more question and then close because we rented this room until 5 o'clock only. Thank you.
저는 양천구에 사는 손치익입니다. 서울시에서 35년 근무했습니다. 아마 촛불 집회하고 태극기 집회는 저보다 많이 본 사람은 없을 것입니다. 왜냐하면 제가 그 24시간 가까이 그 광화문 KT 일정 센터에서 여러 가지 정책 자료라든가 연구를 하고 있습니다. 그렇기 때문에
I am Soo Ji. I'm from Yangchun City. I worked in Seoul City for 35 years, and I think there's no one else who witnessed these candlelight protests and the national flag protests more than me, because I work in the first floor of KT Center at the heart of Gwanghwamun Square, and for 24 hours I am there to do some research, policy research.
간략하게 요지만 말씀드리겠습니다. 제가 그 현재 40년생입니다. 사회가 부모, 자식 간에 또 태극기, 촛불 집회 이걸 즐거운 주말이 돼야 되는데 이성으로 좀 돌아가서 제자리를 갈 수 없느냐 하면서 내가 깊이 있게 생각을 해봤습니다.
So let me briefly summarize my points. I was born in the 1940s, and we are seeing this division and conflict between parents' generations and children's generations, and this candlelight vigil and also Taekuki vigil. And in this holiday, the weekends that we're supposed to take leisure, we are basically caught in this limbo.
저는 요점을 말씀드리면 한시적으로 대통령이 복귀를 했으면 하는 생각도 있고, 두 번째는 공정성 확보를 위해서 지금 여러 가지 논란이 많기 때문에 이 국회에서 추천하는 법무법인, 대법원에서 추천하는 법무법인, 정부에서 추천하는 법무법인을 통해서 객관적으로 이 조사를 시키고, 헌법재판소는 그 7인이다, 8인이다, 9인이다 논란이 많기 때문에 헌법에 보장되는 부인이 돼서 심사할 때까지 요구했다가 헌재는 그대로 계속 심의를 한다 이겁니다. 헌재를 없애는 게 아니라 헌재 재판을 그대로 진행하고, 그래서 그 결과를 가지고 박근혜 대통령이 이 결론을 내리고 대타협을 선언하는 그런 기회가 있었으면 좋겠다 이겁니다. 그렇게 되면 그 기간에 헌법도 개정할 수 있고, 또 대통령께서 명예퇴임도 할 수 있고, 국정도 안정되고 경제도 활성화되고, 대립 같은 모든 국민들이 통합할 수 있고, 탄핵으로 인한 모든 상처를 치유할 수 있고, 세계를 위한 힘찬 도전도 할 수 있고, 북한과의 미국 등 이런 관계 개선하고 미국의 한미 새 행정부가 들어섰는데 정상회담도 하고 또 세월호 분향소가 뭐 수년이 됐는데 그것도 정리를 하고 대통령도 이미 한 3개월 동안 업무를 못 봤습니다. 그리고 새로운 헌법이 개정되어 가지고 임기 단축도 할 수 있는 거 아니냐. 그렇게 된다면 이 헌법재판관들의 범민도 해결되고 언론이 뭐
예, 선생님, 알겠습니다. 무슨 말씀인지 제가 진정하겠는데요. 제가
언론이
예.
이 보도를 잘못한다 이런
지금 예, 제가 간단하게
지금 결론을 내겠어요.
예.
그래서 최석원 씨에 대해서는 책임도 좀 물었어요.
예.
벌금도 좀 부과하고. 그러니까 국정을 안전성 합해서 대화의 신노 이 백인 정신을 가지고 우리가 대타협을 하면 그리고 대통령께서 이 일로 인해서 생긴 모든 일에 대해서는 대사면 조치해라. 일체 없는 것 하면 암송도 일어나고 다 그렇지 않느냐.
예, 아주 좋은 말씀이시고 아주 이상적인 말씀을 하셨는데요. 물론 그렇습니다. 바로 그런 상태를 우리가 당장 실현하고 싶은데 문제는 지금의 모든 사회 제도가 사회 활동이 전부 주객 전도가 되어 있습니다. 다시 말씀드리면 아까 제가 공권력 말씀을 드렸죠. 공권력 활동이 지금 안 됩니다. 좌파들이 워낙 강하게 이것을 전부 자기들 진영으로 틀어놓고 그쪽 방향에 따라서 움직이기도 하기 때문에 공무원들도 그렇고 경찰도 그렇고 심지어 저 사람들 말을 안 들으면 자기 혹시 당할까봐 겁이 나서 공권력 활동을 못합니다. 그게 이제 첫 번째는 우선 여소야대에서 시작이 됐었고, 근데 지금 와서는 워낙 이게 사회 전체가 작용이 돼가지고 이걸 바로잡기 위해서 필요한 것이 곧 지금 한상군이 말씀하신 것처럼 계엄령 같은 걸 해가지고 꼼짝 못하게 해놓고 그걸 해야지 그냥 하려고 그러면 막힌다 이런 얘기입니다. 지금 물론 헌법재판소나 또는 저쪽 지금 특검이나 이거 전부 다 하는 일이 전부 위법이고 형편없는 나쁜 짓이죠. 하지만 그걸 다스릴 만한 권력이 없는 겁니다. 지금 권력을 발휘하려고 하면은 좌파들이 막았으니까. 그래서 지금 말하려고 세상은 지금 거꾸로 되어 있는 겁니다 이미. 그렇기 때문에 우리가 어떤 강경한 조치를 취하지 않으면은 그런 지금 선생님께서 말씀하시는 이상적인 상태로 돌리기가 어렵다 하는 그런 데 문제가 있는 거죠. 예.
근데
Can she tell us a little bit about what this is about?
Sorry?
Can she tell us a little about what's going on here?
So let me briefly summarize. So the gentleman says he is proposing maybe we can have presidents get back to his work, and we can, in the meantime, we can designate law firm from the judiciary, the Supreme Court, the National Assembly, and the government, so they can have more independent investigation. In the meantime, the Constitutional Court can continue its deliberation. There's some debate about the number of judges at this point, so until that reaches the 9 members, we can wait until that point, and in the meantime, we can pursue this grand bargaining and grand compromise, and by doing so, we can heal the wounds, and we can really pursue more conciliatory stands, and in the meantime, we can even have constitutional amendment to fix these problems. Mr. Chang's comment is that is a great advice, but also it is very ideal. What we witness in society is this that the public authority is controlled by the leftists. It cannot be exercised in the right way because the leftist is controlling the power. The society is leaning towards left. That's why we are suggesting martial law, so we can start from scratch. The Constitutional Court and the deliberation and the special prosecutor are all illegal and unconstitutional, but we don't have power and authority to control this because the left is always stopping our efforts. So that's why we need to have more strong measures so we can change the status quo.
Thank you.
The concept of in the U.S. we use this language. Let's clean the slate, meaning when you have dirt on the pan on the slate plate of let's say you can imagine the Japanese restaurant where they serve the foods on the plate, right? On the burning plate. At some point you have to clean the whole slate and then re-establish the system there again. Just like that. That's where we think, I mean, that's the time that we need to do this time. Because it has been rotten so much and decayed so much. And that's the problem. That's the one that I actually wanted to discuss right now before we close, reading through these recommendations. One of them is, in the future, we should plant or install a new educational program for the young people so that they begin to learn how to think rationally, how to think reasonably. If you put it in the Korean language, right, would appreciate that.
간단히 다시 말씀해 주시겠어요?
Okay, that's all right. 제가 말씀드린 건 뭐냐면은, sorry. I'll translate myself. 지금 clean the slate, 그러니까는 판때기를 전부 깨끗하게 정리해버리고 다시 뭘 갖다 놓자 하는 그런 생각, 아주 좋은 생각이시고, 그러려면은 강경한 조치를 취하지 않고 빨리 취하지 않고 있으면 안 된다 이거죠. 점점 더 썩어지니까. 그래서 장기적으로는 우리가 만약에 이번에 클린 더 슬레이트를 하고 나면은 그 다음엔 뭐가 필요하냐 하면은 교육제도를 다시 만들어가지고 지금까지 무슨 교과서가 그냥 왜곡이 되고 역사를 그냥 거꾸로 가르치고 했잖아요. 그런 거를 애들한테 다시 가르쳐야 된다 이런 뜻입니다. 다시 가르칠 때는 뭘 가르치냐면 어떻게 생각을 합리적으로 할 줄 아느냐, 어떻게 이론적으로 맞게 생각을 하냐는 거예요. 그 라지컬 펠러시라는 말이 있습니다. 논리적 오류라는 말이 있어요. 아이고 내 친구 A도 이렇게 말하고 B도 이렇게 말하고 C도 이렇게 말하니까 진짜 A, B, C가 다 말하는 게 세상의 진리인가 보다. 이게 뭐냐면 소위 말하는 제너럴리제이션이라는 거예요. 일반화라는 겁니다. 스테레오타입이라고 해요. 이런 사고방식들이 지금 꽉 차 있습니다. 이 나라 사람들한테. 그러니까 뭐 합리적인 얘기를 꺼내봐도 통하지 않아요. 오케이? 그래서 그런 이제 장기적으로는 그런 거 있는데 그러나 그런 클린 슬레이트를 지금 강당이 시면 안 하면 그것도 할 수 없다 이런 얘기죠. 예, 말씀하세요.
지금 이제 탄핵 정국이고 결국 시세 말로 버킹엄 결과가 제일 중요한데 저 나름대로 지금까지 검토한 바에 의하면 법리적으로 봤을 때는 탄핵 소주 자체가 위법이고 위헌이고 요소가 많기 때문에 기각돼야 되고 각하가 되는 것이 상식선에서는 맞는데 법리적으로는 문제는 이제 정치적으로 봤을 때는 이 국민 여론 전체를 봤을 때는 지금 기각보다는 저쪽 인용 쪽이 더 여론조사 결과로는 더 많은 것 같다 말이죠. 현재 통계로는. 또 그런 문제가 있고 또 아까 분위기상으로 지금 주객이 완전히 뒤집어진 상태의 이런 세 가지 중요한 팩터가 있는데 이 법조인의 차원에서 봤을 때는 이런 이 세 가지를 종합해서 봤을 때 과연 기각과 인용을 확률적으로 어느 정도로 예측을 하시는지 그게 궁금합니다.
So we are in this impeachment situation. I've been paying attention to the situation. I think we need to wait to see the results of the Constitutional Court. By legal perspective, the impeachment motion itself is illegal and unconstitutional, so it should have been rejected in the first place. But politically, we see some statistics that many people are actually supporting the upholding of the impeachment motion. So in this social atmosphere, as Mr. Zhang pointed out, there's the reverse of this situation in three different fronts. So as a legal professionals, how do you anticipate the results of the Constitutional Court's decision? What kind of percentage do you foresee?
Yes, I share with you the concern. May I ask the question first, or would you like to ask the same question? What is that? The person who raised the hand, do you have anything to say, or?
잠깐 질문이 있습니다.
Yeah, but I didn't answer his question yet. Can I ask?
먼저 답변하시죠.
May I answer him first?
네, 답변하시고.
Sorry. Maybe I should just put it in English so that he doesn't have to, ask again. You may have heard, and I heard that too, that the poll, statistically, perhaps there are more people in the country who wanted to have the affirmation of this impeachment. But I don't want to admit that because I know that poll is also fabricated. It's not really fair poll that you have seen in, let's say, 10 years ago. Everything in this country now is fabricated and fake. You cannot rely on them.
That's right.
Okay, that's one point. And the other point is that, of course, on the lawyer's consciousness, the impeachment was ab initio from the beginning. It's wrong. They shouldn't have raised it at all. And the National Assembly members, 국회의원들, they made big mistake out of their own interest, selfishness, in other words, not because of the righteousness or anything in the honest and justice. I mean, I told you already when I was explaining this causes of action. That's, in Korean language, it's a soye iyu. When you have legal action, you should state the soye iyu, the causes of action, clearly and precisely. And you should later on support it with evidence. Evidence meaning 증거. Okay? But this time, the National Assembly did not do either. They couldn't state the causes of action clearly, for one thing. And secondly, they could not produce any evidence to support their allegations. That's why lawyers, every lawyer, think that it's against the law, it's unlawful to raise that issue at all from the beginning. But what we cannot rely on is the behaviors of the judges, because this country's judicial system is so deteriorated now that we cannot rely on the honest opinions of the judges themselves, because some of them are already brainwashed and became leftist inside. That's the real concern that we get. Okay?
Thank you.
Can I add something? The gentleman said that in legal perspective, the impeachment has got so many faults and failures. But politically he said that. But I would like to correct that public opinion or people's opinion doesn't affect the considerations of, shouldn't affect or influence legal considerations. Legal judgment has to be made 100% following constitutions and laws, not public opinion. And instigation by opposition parties is not a political activities. It's deceiving people and in a very wrongful way influencing people's opinion. And people's opinion doesn't have role to play in the legal judgment. That is what I would like to mention in pursuance of what I said earlier, a lot about rule of law. Rule of law means this country and people in this country, every individual is ruled by the law, not public opinion. That is why I would like to make this clarification. Thank you.
Thank you. The question that you had.
예. 저는 박용호 목사입니다.
예.
쉽게 말씀해 주세요.
다름이 아니고요. 지금 우리나라 대한민국 정국이 상당히 지금 위기 정국이지 않습니까? 그래서 이제 법이 제대로 돌아가지 않냐고, 또 경제적으로도 지금 이재용 삼성 부회장을 이렇게 구속을 시키고 그런 상황에서 지금 어제 18일 날 정강용 씨는 국민 저항단을 만들겠다 그랬습니다. 그러면은 결과적으로 촛불 세력과 국민 저항단하고 어떤 그 투쟁이 있지 않을까 그런 생각이 들거든요. 그리고 이제 어떤 땅굴로 지금 전국에 땅굴이 다 파져 있다 그러는데 이 땅굴로 이런 혼잡한 상황을 생각하고 국경이 땅굴로 침투해서 한국군 복장을 해서 나와가지고 이런 그 세력들을 어떤 그 조치를 취한다는 그런 것을 가지고 이 대한민국의 어떤 적화 동의할 수 있는 그런 아주 위험한 그런 상황이 전개되지 않을까 그런 우려가 있습니다. 그래서 그 부분에 대해서 어떻게 이 일을 막을 수 있겠는가?
예, 감사합니다. 아주 좋은 질문하셨고 또 everyone is concerned now that perhaps heretical reaction by the either North or people inside the riot people might react harshly if we use the militia idea of forming a resistance group, in other words, because that was raised as one of the issues these days. And he is concerned that perhaps those move toward this militia from the people, it may further cause the riots and sort of unrest in the whole country, making it worse. And I'm going to answer that question, and that is that yes, we are concerned. Therefore, as I explained it earlier, we need to be careful about such further riots, further aggravation, in other words, of the situations. Therefore, we need to set a hard rule so that there's no such thing happen. This the idea of, for example, Mr. Han's the martial law is such that you cannot even think about anything like that. So I mentioned here, I explained to you, together with the diplomatic issue, I was suggesting that perhaps we should consider more seriously about that militia idea. Militia means 의병 역할을 얘기하는 거예요. 의병 조직을 활용할 경우에는 이게 조직화가 되지 않으면 안 돼요. Unless it is really highly organized forces, you cannot use militia as the whatever correcting elements here. It's dangerous, as you said. So once you begin to think about militia, then you have to think about really highly organized troops composed with the people. And that's again, we have experience in the past, like Donghangnan, for example. Those situations we don't want to do it. We don't want to repeat again. History should not repeat in that direction. Okay, so that's not militia idea is only idea now. But actually, I was advising some of the Tangeuk people, like generals. I told them that yes, we have to correct the situations. However, in order to really be effective as militia, you got to organize it, like local organization. In each counties, you should have representatives, so that at some point you have to organize the whole country as one body, so that the orders and the decisions go straight and be effective, rather than having all different ideas and fightings all over the place. That is really serious riot, right? So we should be really careful, yes. That's why some people are really hesitant in talking about it at all. But in other words, you cannot break the whole jar just to catch a rat. That's the idea. So, I agree. And
I have a question. I thought that that group, some people would like to organize is a kind of a vigilantist group, not militia. So, if I'm wrong,
it could be.
Because, for example, there are numerous, bills coming up from the National Assembly, and I remember one bill is being promoted by opposition party members to abolish and disband the Secret Service people for the president.
질문이 있습니다.
Yes.
제가 지나간 토요일 날이요, 여기 토요일 날 시청 앞에 걸개 집회에서요 많은 걸 배웠는데요. 한 가지 제가 질문 드리는 것은요, 선진국이나 강대국들은 대통령 한 분 탄핵하는데 2년이 걸린대요. 2년. 확실하죠? 근데 우리나라는 경제 강국 10대 되는 나라가 어찌하여 대통령을 39일 만에 국회의원들 저 멋대로 아들놈들이 어미를 건방지게 한번 탄핵했으면 또 우리 민족들은 뭘 하고 정의도 모르고 법도 모르고 법정으로는 아무 잘못도 없는 대통령을 여론조사하다가 기강이 적다, 인형이 많다, 이건 나는 잘못했다 생각합니다. 나는 이거는 도저히 용납 안 갑니다.
Okay. Why don't you?
해보시오.
Yes. So on Saturday, I was at the assembly in the city hall, and I learned a great thing. And one thing I would like to ask you is, if you look at advanced countries or powerful countries, it takes about 2 years to impeach a president. But if you look at Korea, which is supposedly number 10 economic country, took only 39 days to impeach the president by the National Assembly unilaterally. So it is very difficult to understand how this thing happens, and we are talking about the public opinions, but all this public opinions and using public opinions as a ground is wrong. So I can't understand why this can happen in Korean society.
또 있습니다. 왜냐하면 우리나라가 경제 강국 10대고 IT 초대 강국이라면은 또 한미 동맹이 있으면은 옛날에 해방되고 외정 때나 해방되고 6.25 때 해방 때 미국이 그렇게 도와줬는데도 그 고마운 미국의 정의를 모르고 종북 좌빨 빨갱이 새끼들은 그 은혜도 모르고 허무맹랑 소리고, 이거는 도대체가 정의가 아닙니다. 아시아국가 정의가 아닙니다. 예. 안 그렇소? 그리고 또 있어요. 왜냐하면은 이 선진국처럼 법대로 하려면은 대통령 탄핵도 2년 이상 걸리고, 그래도 그 나라는 탄핵을 못 시켰어요. 그럼 아무 죄도 없는 대통령을 함부로 건방져 국회의원들이 뭔데 탄핵시키고, 이거 되겠습니까? 이상입니다.
And Korea is number 10 economic country and IT powerhouse, and also we have Korea-U.S. alliance, which gave us a great help to Korea in the Korean War and liberation. But now, without being grateful for the U.S. help, this leftist and North Korean followers are being ridiculously controlling the Korean society, and there's no justice in Korean society. If you follow law, it should take 2 years, just like advanced countries, to impeach a president. And even in those countries, the president did not get impeached in the end. The president is innocent, and we cannot see this happening in Korean society.
감사합니다.
Thank you. Okay.
헬로.
제가 영어로 대답해도 되겠습니까?
네?
저 우리 외국에서 오신 분들
예, 예.
위해서 영어로 대답을 할게요.
예.
뭐 여기 오신 분들은
예,
한국
예.
분들이라도 영어는 다 듣기는
예,
다
예.
들으실 테니까.
예.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. That's where I emphasize the fall of the judicial system as a whole. The judicial system, the courts, and the prosecutions are now tainted and contaminated by the subversive influence, in other words. Therefore, we cannot expect them to act reasonably and rationally. That's why we wanted to have the clean the slate situation. Otherwise, it will never come back. Your old happy time will never be back. That's the concern that we have. Okay, we agree to you. And also, you mentioned about why they are so hasty and why they are prosecuting the person who is innocent. This is the concept of due process that they don't follow. Due process is a very important principle of both U.S. Constitution and Korean. And that means you need to have an opportunity to explain about your guilt or to explain about your action or thinking before you get indicted for crime, okay? Or before you get this benefit in economic life. So that's the just and fair compensation issue there, too. So the due process means a lot of things. So it's at the law school, for example, people are learning due process for a long time, and it's so difficult concept. However, what's important to understand, you remember the movie Presumed Innocent, 무죄로 간주한다 라는 영화. 마찬가지로 사람이 법원에 의해서 by the law, I mean judges of the court, you should be sentenced before you are called you are guilty, right? That's the point of the issue. So that's why people are arguing against the conduct of the judges at the Constitutional Court because they are ignorant of those. They know the concept. I'm sure they are trained as a lawyer, but they pretend not to know because they are contaminated. They are already, in other words, subversive people. Okay, that's the international people will not really understand this part. They went wrong too much now. That's the reality. Okay, thank you, Mr. Kirk.
Thank you.
All right, now we should close the meeting because our rented time is over. Thank you very much for coming over all the way, and I'm sure there are some remaining questions, but you can always send me either email or Kato or whatever, and I will try to answer you diligently. And in the future, our organization, this forum, is a very official organization already in the US and in Korea. And we will follow up with many sessions of this kind in the future while we watch how the progress is made in the legal system in Korea. Our focal point is the legal system. And legal system is actually the substantive part of the whole national sovereign power, right? Unless you have judicial system installed firmly, you won't have democratic country at all, okay? So with these remarks, I thank you again, and we'll see you next time. Have a good evening.